who celebrates their birthday? Now, I know that this might be just a my take kind of thing, right? Like I get it, you know, like maybe I'm just too cynical now. Like I've grown up to the point where, oh, but I'm not gonna say, okay, let's just say what I do and do not believe. I don't want to spoil the fun for everyone, right? But for me, birthdays has kind of lost its pizzazz. You know, it's kind of lost the aura, you know, like their farming aura. That aura is now gone, right? So the magic of birthdays for me is now gone. As the years keep piling on, you know what? I start to remember that the years are piling on, and each and every single one of these birthdays is just like one more year, and it's like, wow, one more year, let's celebrate. Like, you know, like, is it really? And again, there's many people that have a different take on it. So I want to know your take. What about birthdays? Like, what's so fun about it? And now I'll tell you something. I used to love birthdays. I used to love birthdays, and I would go to my friends' birthdays. I would go to my family's, everyone's birthday. It was such a huge and extravagant thing because they would throw like massive parties with colorful balloons and different themes, and you would go to like either a theme park, or like you would rent out like a Chuck E. Cheese, or you would go to McDonald's, and like all these places. Like I remember one time we went to the theaters, right? The theater near my location, they had like a party room where there was a lot of arcades and stuff, and you would go there and you would just play arcades and whatnot, and you would have a fun time with birthday hats and everything, and so many balloons and all these things, right? So it was so fun when I was a little kid, and I went on my birthdays. And now, as I grow up and older, now it's like adult birthdays. There's a lot to unravel with adult birthdays, and I'm gonna just tell you, it's not as fun, right? Because I can't just go to an arcade now and being like, oh hey, yeah, I'm definitely taking over this entire arcade and playing with all these like little arcade places and taking over this entire place from little kids. I don't even think they have them anymore. Do they still have them? Do they have arcades now that's still like dedicated for parties? I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna research that or anything, but that was the whole thing. The magic's gone for me. And yeah, there's still gift giving and stuff, and I think that's the only thing left, right? Like, oh hey, yeah, here's a gift for you. And again, as time goes on, you have different responsibilities, and that's kind of encroaching on the whole fun aspect. Like, dang, you have to set up your own birthday party now. You know, you have to set everything up and all that stuff, and you have to go to an actual location. You got to fight through traffic. You got to do all that stuff. And if, let's say, you have a big mansion or a big house, then that's okay. But that's not the regular person's life. I'm just gonna tell you right now that that's not my life. I don't own a massive house like that, like that's able to host hundreds of people. No, it's just like a, you know, decent house. That's about it. But I still remember those really great birthdays where I would have my friends over, and we would have like little games and stuff, like having pizza and having little games that we would play. We would have like Jenga contests with like those massive Jenga blocks, and you would like, you know, like win prizes, and those prizes would be so nice and sweet. Like they're just little Matchbox cars and stuff like that, you know, like you would get like tiny treats like that. But as a kid, you would play that, and everybody had the same kind of interests as you because you grew up with them, right? And as time goes on, obviously you don't have that. Like, I'm not gonna give, oh hey, Joe, how's it going? Yeah, here you go, here's a car, let's race it outside. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I lost all that kid stuff, you know, like I lost all the passion of playtime, you know. When I was a kid, like I had the passion of playtime, and now I don't. So maybe that's it. Maybe I just need to find that, right? So yeah, birthdays for me are very different now, very different, because I have to start realizing that, hey, I gotta now pay. You know, I gotta now pay for the venue. Like, if I didn't want to have it in my place and I want to have it in like a bigger location, I gotta pay for the venue now. It's not like my parents that pay for it. I have to pay for it, you know? And then I realized, like, dang it. Now I realize that it's like, yeah, sure, like, I pay for the venue and that's fine, but now I'm looking at it like, am I asking for money from or like gifts from my friends kind of thing? Like, I know they're close to me, but I don't feel right. in asking for gifts for my friends. Like, I'm not gonna host a party being like, you're gonna get me a gift. Like, I don't look at it that way. You know, I'm there to just chill with them and have fun. And I think that's one of the other things as well. I don't even remember the last time I was given a present that was actually wrapped during my birthday. Because a lot of the time we have like a small get together, and it's always either at my parents' house or my sister's house. It's always there, and it's like a very small gathering. Or let's say my other relative's house, we would go there, small gathering, and they would just either give me like the present in like those little bags. You know, you would just put the gift paper inside, like that kind of confetti paper inside there, and you would just take out the gift and stuff like that. They would give me that, or they would just give it to me in like, you know, just like that, right? There's no unwrapping, because I know that unwrapping gifts is such a hassle because someone has to clean up the mess, and it's usually me. It's usually me, so I don't tend to do that. So it's rather just have the bags, and that way you can reuse the bags rather than having to unwrap and stuff like that and all that stuff. Now it's like a card and that's it, right? But I do remember that, and it's like when you were a young kid, I remember the magic of having all these gifts around you and having to blow out the candle. I still do blow out a candle, I still have a cake and everything, but I don't have the magic of making a wish and all that stuff, and I don't have the magic of the opening presents, because that was a huge thing back then, right? So I do miss that part. So what about yours? Like, what is your like birthday traditions? I want to know. Are there balloons? Do you go someplace? Like, what is the fun? What is the one most fun birthday you've ever had? I'll tell you mine. The most fun birthday I've ever had was we went to what is it called? Like a fun house? Is it called a fun house still? I'm not too sure. But it's one of those, I don't know if you know this, but something called Jim, I think it's called Jim Jam, or I don't know if I think they're gone now. But a place called Jim Jam, like one of those fun houses places, right? Where you would go there and you would play multiple different games, and you would have an arcade at the side. You would have like trampolines. You would have a ball pit. By the way, ball pits are very, very nasty. Now that I really think about it, it's just a ball pit with no, like, it's like a pool, but with physical, like, plastic, very safe plastic balls, and little kids just go into that, like, the ball pit, right? And it doesn't have the chlorine of a pool, so that means there's no way for you for the germs and stuff to get removed, but it still has all the disgustingness in it. Like, someone can go there and like they're like, not blow their nose, but like sneeze inside there, or someone can like pee their pants. Like, you know, there's little kids there, not gonna lie to you, there's little kids. Like, there's mud on it because like you have all of your, like, you still have your shoes there. There could be mud on the ball, right? And it's just nasty. Some of the little kids are just like licking the ball and stuff, and they're still tossing it out, all that. So it's nasty. There's like the ball pit. There was a ball pit in a IKEA, from what I remember. There's a ball pit in an IKEA, and I always wanted to go there when I was a kid. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that my parents did not allow me to go there, because I now know that, dang, that was nasty if I ever did that. You remember when McDonald's used to have that as well? Like, McDonald's used to have the ball pits, and McDonald's used to have like those massive play structures inside, like the interiors of a McDonald's. They had play structures, and they had a ball pit, and then they had like a foam pit as well, where you had foam and you could just jump around and, like, you know, be safe and everything. They don't have that anymore, obviously, because COVID hit, and even way before then, it was just unpopular at that point. But they used to have that, and I would love to go there, but I was never allowed. I was always, whenever we went to a McDonald's and we actually had a sit down at McDonald's, we would just eat. I was not allowed to go to the pit because obviously my parents knew that it was too disgusting, but I always felt bad. You know, I always felt bad that I couldn't go there. And it was like, oh man, my childhood is gone because I couldn't go there. And then little did I realize, now that I do, that they were just saving me from all of the germs, right? So yeah, what was your favorite one? So so what was your best one? I mean, so my best experience in there was like, we went to a Jim Jam. And again, think about that like play structure at a McDonald's. Sorry, hiccups. More hiccups. A play structure in the McDonald's, but multiply that by like 20. It was a huge play structure. It was there was a safety net at the bottom, like, you know, those acrobats in a circus, they have that safety net at the bottom when they're doing any of their stunts. That way, if they do fall, it's a safety net that catches them. And underneath the safety net was even more safety stuff, like it was the foam stuff as well underneath that. So it was always safe. And the only thing that's not safe with that, obviously, if you hit another little kid, that's going to be pretty tough, but at least it's not concrete or, like, you know, a very, very solid object. So there was that thing, and I would always love that. So I would go there. That was my first time ever going to a play, a play structure that massive, and I loved it. So you would go up and you would, like, play tag and stuff. I had like maybe 7 or 8 of my very, very close friends there, and we would just play tag and stuff in the place, the play junction or whatever. And it's like little, like, think about us as like hamsters. It really is just like thinking about it as a hamster kind of colony house, like a hamster house, you know, like the ones where it's like different tunnels for the hamster to go to. Like that's what you feel like. You feel like a hamster just going around in circles and stuff. And we were playing that. It was super fun. And that was like one of the highlights, because I love those things. It's like literally having your own treehouse and obviously bigger. And you go there and play like you're like in like the trenches, and like I would say war and stuff, like, oh yeah, like you're finding your friends, like, friends, like, yo, you have to save me, like this monster's getting me. And then it's just like you're one of your other friends playing tag and stuff, you know. That was so fun. Another really good experience in that was like we got to play laser tag. Anybody still remember laser tag? Like laser tag was so good. Like I cannot believe people like thought that laser tag was bad. I think it was, like, maybe it was cringe back then, like when you were a teenager, right? Let's say that you're a teenager, you don't want to do what little kids are like, what little kid activities are. But then you stop, and then you start realizing when you're an adult, you're just like, dang, like I want to play on the playpen. I remember that. I don't have the ego anymore. I don't have that like aura anymore. Like, no, I want to go ahead and play. Like, come on, let me, you know, like, come on, let me go. Let me go and just do my own thing. And then back then in my teenager head, I was just like, ugh, laser tag, it's such for losers. I don't want to do that laser tag. Yuck. You know, like, no, I don't have that anymore. I want to play laser tag. I want to play like all those things. Like, it was so fun. And that was one of the best times. Like that was what we did. So we had the laser tag and whatnot. It was great. It was like maybe an hour worth of laser tag, and if it was like 9 of us, the 8 of my close friends and me as well, so 9 of us, and we were just going around, and we were set in teams. So like the first time we had it booked for for ourselves. Like we had the whole thing booked, laser tag, and there was like 3 levels to this laser tag. You can actually go 3 levels up. It was so fun. And you can have high ground as well. It was so great. And we had that laser tag booked, and we went with the friends as well as the family members, right? So we had usually it was the dads. It was, not gonna lie to you, it was usually the dads. And I'm telling you right now, that's what I feel like now. I was like, yo, I want to be that dad. I want to be that uncle, you know? So there's like, we're playing laser tags with them, and they would allow us to win, and it was cool because all the dads would allow us to win and stuff. There was, I don't know if I don't remember anyone's mom there. All the dads were letting us win and stuff, and it was 30 minutes of that, super fun. There was a cool like maybe 16, 17 of us at that time. Like there was a lot of us there. And then after that 30 minutes, we had like other people. So the parents went away, and then it was other little kids. So we were like, okay, you know what? Let's team up against these other little kids. Let's go. And we started literal wars in that laser tag. We're like, ah, and we had our little laser tag things with our armor. You know, you have armor that would show like where you would get hit by the laser and stuff like that. It was so fun. And we would have like 4 of us. We're doing like maneuvers, like we were like Navy SEALs and stuff. And we would go around, just start shooting people. It was so fun. I like that one. That was what it's like, super cool experience. And that's what I miss, you know, like that's what I miss about, like, as I'm talking about birthdays, I really want to talk about like, dang, look, aging up is good and bad at the same time. You know, like growing old is good and bad at the same time. It's good because you can be sustainable by yourself. right? You have your own money, you have your own finances, you can live on your own and stuff like that. By the way, living on your own is not the best until you have all the other things involved that can sustain you, right? Don't ever think about living on your own because you think it's all freedom and stuff. No, actually, living on your own, you have the least amount of freedom. Why do I say that? Maybe this is a hot take, but I'll tell you right now, living on your own has the least amount of freedom because you have to do literally everything on your own. You do. Living on your own, people think that it's fun up until they need to do everything on your own. Groceries, you have to do your own. If you're sick, you got to take care of yourself. If you have to go, you got to do laundry, you got to do your chores, you got to do errands on your own. You got to do, you got to fix your car on your own. You know, you have to go do that. Like you can't do anything. Like you have to cook on your own. You got to clean on your own. And then you still need to take care of your own and do everything all over again and repeat. Not only that, you have your own job, maybe 2 jobs, right? If you're living in a really expensive neighborhood or expensive city. But overall, living on your own is a complete not the best situation because you have to take care of yourself by yourself kind of thing, right? And if you like that, look, by all means, go ahead, enjoy that kind of life. If you have yourself all kind of calm, cool, and collected, then yeah, for sure, you can go ahead and live on your own. I can do it, right? If I can do it, a goober can do it. Okay, let's just make it to you that way. But mind you, it is very difficult. Okay, just take it with a pinch of salt. Just that difficult. But that's what I mean, that like there's so many things with birthdays that I remember, and it's all these things, all these magical things, and because I wasn't responsible for any of it, you know, you're not responsible for any of it, which is the best thing about it. Being young, you're not responsible for a lot of things or anything. The only thing that you're really responsible for is the homework that you had to do, and then the weekends are always for you kind of thing, right? But the homework's not even that much. If you do your homework during lunchtime, or if you do your homework as the class is going, you're done and you can just go and do your own thing. You have no part-time job. All you need to do is just go ahead and just play and just do kid things, right? So what I want to say is that like once you start getting into an age where you start thinking that birthdays are not a celebration anymore, when you think that birthdays are not a celebration anymore, then you are now in that age where you're like, maybe it was more fun being a kid. You know, maybe it was more fun being a kid. Maybe having no responsibilities at all was super fun. And the people that are like, oh hey, I want to be an adult so fast, I want to grow up and I'll do all that stuff. No, you don't. I'll tell you right now. As a person, as a fellow grown-up, you don't want that. Not at all. Because the more that you're grown up, the more you start realizing I actually need help more so than I did when I was a little kid. I'm just saying. I don't know how my parents did it, right? And I'm glad that they pushed through, they thugged it out, because I got to where I am, kind of thing, right? But as I realized it, dang, I wish I was a kid. I wish I was still a kid, not because like I wanna have all the fun still, but the thing with the responsibility, like, it's just way too much. Sometimes it gets you, right? So it's like, as I said before, enjoy the birthdays, enjoy the small things right now. Just enjoy it. You might think that like, oh, it's like I wanted to have more, dude. Enjoy it. Enjoy the time that you have with the Chuck E. Cheese's, with the McDonald's meals, with all these things. Enjoy the time that you have with all that, because as you start realizing, as you get more of these, they're not going to be that anymore. They're not. Let me just be real. They're not. So hopefully you have a great time. If this was someone's birthday and you're actually listening to this on your birthday, let me just say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I hope you have a fantastic time. I really do. I hope that you're enjoying yourself. I hope you enjoy yourself with friends and family. If it's not physically there around your friends and family, I hope you have some contacts somewhere. You doing a Discord call or like a FaceTime or a Skype, whatever you need to, and you can have fun with that. Have a nice relaxing time. Enjoy yourself, because this is a treat to you. Enjoy yourself however way that you want to, in a very comfortable manner. And I will see you next time on another episode of this podcast. Bye.